Hi. Um, I'm gonna talk about a scene that I'm gonna film soon. Um, I'm gonna do a scene from The Great Gatsby, and I did do a scene from The Great Gatsby in November, and I said that I'm not into romantic films, and I'm not a romantic person, but I lied. I'm a very, very romantic person, and I love romantic films. I'm just joking. Um, the thing that I like about The Great Gatsby is that it's a romantic film, but it's not like to act it out. You don't have to um, think about a person. You know what I mean? Like it's like the kind of film where all the story is a romantic story. It's also about a person who comes from a poor background and they want to pick themselves out and um, aim for like greatness. So um, so yeah, it's not like see like when I acted it out in November, I didn't really think of um, a guy. I thought about um, I thought about work. Um, yeah. So I just want to talk about the scene that I'm going to be doing because in November the scene that I did was from like the middle of the film, and the scene that I'm going to be doing now is from the end of the film. Um, and in this scene, Gatsby is talking to Nick, and yeah, I'm gonna play Gatsby, but like I changed the names a bit because obviously a Gatsby is a guy, and he's talking about a woman that he wants to be with. And I don't want to be with a woman, so I'm gonna change the name. And so like how he's talking about Daisy, I'm gonna talk about Tom, who's also a character in the film. Um, yeah, so in this scene, Gatsby and Tom are talking to each other, and in the middle of this scene, Gatsby is talking about his childhood and telling Nick how he got out and how he worked hard and how he met someone called Dan Cody and he talked about the war and going to Oxford. But in that scene, that part of the film, you don't know what he's saying because there's music playing in the background, so you don't know what he's saying. So I wrote it out, but so where he's talking and there's music and then you don't know what he's saying, I've written my own lines. Um, I do have the book, The Great Gatsby, so I could have just got the words from there, but I thought if I write it out, it'd be better than the book anyway. Um, so yeah. And also I wanted to like, I thought it'd be fun, you know, to write your own script and stuff, and yeah. So I just want to read the bit that I wrote out because when you watch it, you know, like, you know what bit, you know what part I wrote. Yeah. So I'll read the bit that I wrote. Yeah. My folks are struggling to make ends meet. I ran away from home when I was a child and worked my way up until the pennies turned into dollars. Um, pennies turn into dollars. Try to make it sound poetic. I was 15 and on the sea when I came across Dan Cody, who would later become a dear friend of mine. I saved him that night and he made me the woman I am today. One day he died and I lost a friend and my way in life back to dirt poor. Whilst working as a radio operator in the war, some of us women were given the great opportunity to go to Oxford. I met Tom in Oxford. That's when I knew I would never climb alone again. After Oxford, I continued my journey to make a good life, with Tom always at mind. As the ball started rolling, I was introduced to Wolfshane, where I joined him in the business. That's the bit that I wrote. I wrote Great Opportunity because it's called The Great Gatsby, which is why I wrote the word great in there. And I met Tom in Oxford. That's when I knew I would never climb alone again. I wrote a line about climbing alone because the scene that I did in November, Gatsby says something like, I always knew that I could climb, but I could only climb if I climbed alone. So I thought that line would be good to use again, but in this scene, saying that the character doesn't want to climb alone. So it's like the other way around. You know what I mean? I'm not making sense. So yeah, I enjoyed writing my own script first because obviously it's creative and you can use your own imagination and your own words, and I guess writing is is a skill, and I did another scene last year in November. It was a scene from John Wick, and I played Gianna, and in that scene I did something creative as well. I got different soundtracks from the movie John Wick 2 and I mixed them together. So yeah, so I didn't mix them together. I recorded like 10 seconds of one part of the music, 10 seconds of another part of the music, and I put all the music together so that, because when you listen to music, it has its own different intensity and all that, and different atmosphere. So yeah, so in the scene that I did from John Wick, the reason why I put different bits of soundtrack is because with every line, there's highs and lows. It gets dramatic and serious, and so yeah, I was meant to do Goodbye Charlie, which I am still gonna do, but I just felt like, because it's a comedy film, and you have to be in the right mood, I think, to do comedy. So I thought if I do Gatsby first, it'll get me back into get me back into acting, and then I can do Goodbye Charlie, because like I said, it's a comedy, so I don't wanna, yeah, I'm gonna be doing that soon, The Great Gatsby, and then I'll do Goodbye Charlie, and yeah. Oh, another bit I added, I knew there's something else, towards the ending, Nick says what was in the letter. I didn't want to record Nick's lines, I just wanted it to be a monologue. So rather than having that question in there, I'm going to say myself that in the letter was the reason why after the war I hadn't been able to return. And Gatsby's lines are meant to end when he says, see, I felt married to him. But, So basically, in the film, Gatsby says, "See, I felt married to him," and the other guy that is talking to Nick has a voiceover where he says, "It was all for, it was all for her, the parties, the house, everything." So I use those lines. I use the other character's lines and I put it into my lines. And so I'm going to end it, rather than ending it by saying, "See, I got married to him," I'm going to end it by saying, "See, I got married to him. That was all. It was all for him. The house, the parties, everything." So yeah, I don't think I made sense, but yeah, I'll be filming that soon. Thank you.